Hi, welcome back to All About the Alternative. I'm Gadget Lady, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about religion, politics, the gender norms, how media has affected all of these in recent years, and um, basically a general opinion when it comes to all of this, which I'd like to make very clear in this very beginning of this, that this is generally an opinion of my own. Um, And I would appreciate it if anybody would love to have a comment down below, and maybe at some point I can do a live and we can all just have a discussion on this. That would be really great. I'll try to answer back if there's something that you'd like to ask me about of what I'm saying. If you don't agree with me, feel right ahead to comment on that. Um, Hopefully you can give me a like and a subscribe as we're doing this. And I would love to just be able to give this opinion because I've done so much about it that it's time to finally say what I have to say about it. I've looked to, I've done a little bit of debating with some people about it. So I guess I've said, well, here's my opinion and here's my channel. And guess what? This is my opinion. I am not a scholar. I am not a religious scholar. I have no intention of being a rabbi, a minister, any kind of social leader of any kind. But I have simply done some research that I have looked into. I'm still working on it. I am in very early stages of really working on this that I have. So I hope that that can be appreciated, that I strictly did all of the work that I have done, and I gathered a bunch of books. I gathered a lot of information about all of these topics, and it was a sole purpose of just learning, strictly for myself, just to put in perspective on some thoughts I had about religion, some feelings I had, and I just wanted to put them um, in an actual frame of mind. And so I went through scriptures. I've gone through um, all of the Torah and the Bible, which simultaneously are really the same thing, very much so. But I'm currently going through a lot of, like I said, other scriptures and trying to learn about a lot of these things. And I'd love to deep dive into a lot of them for you at some point, because I'd like to see I can actually give a little insight to that as well. But at no point am I looking to become a rabbi, minister, or anything, um, or using it for any other purpose other than opinion that I have. And uh, and it's just a personal journey that I've gone on. There's no calling of any kind that you know, God's calling me for some reason or whatever. It's not about that at all. It's a personal journey that I just felt I wanted to actually read about and learn and know more about, because, you know, there's always more to learn. Um, and here is one of the biggest parts of all of this. One thing you should know, that of course my background itself is being Jewish. I have a conservative Jewish background, which is sort of the middle ground of all of being Jewish. But in any case, I've always felt that if you are Jewish, you are Jewish. No matter what sector of being Jewish you are, if you celebrate all of the Jewish holidays, or you don't celebrate any of them, but you still consider yourself to be Jewish, you are Jewish in my eyes. Um, I've had someone actually say to me, "Well, I'm a higher Jewish person than you," and um, and it blew my mind that they were actually telling me this, because and other people that I know that I feel this way. Um, that this person who was telling me this celebrated no Jewish holidays, never went to synagogue or temple, and it never was involved in anything of the religion that they of the part of the religion that they claim to be from, only because their family is from a higher form of being Jewish than myself, and considers himself more Jewish than myself. I Yes, I took offense at that, of course, because to me that's not how you treat another person. And my other feeling is that has always been something I have always felt. and it's a part of me. It's how I was raised. You know, um, you just you there are all kinds of people out there in this world. There's people who have different ideas and different formula ideas, and being whether you're LGBTQ or you're straight or you're whatever you are, whatever country you came from, whatever creed you believe in, if you believe in another religion or you created a religion for yourself or you don't believe in any religion. I've always just felt that it doesn't matter. Those are the pieces of the what. Those are the what you are. I care about the who you are. That's the biggest thing of any part of this. I just want that clear. I care about the who you are. How do you treat people? What do you do with other people? Um, if you're out there to hurt other people, you're not really somebody that I want anything to do with in the first place. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. I believe in taking care of everybody. You know, I actually really love the idea of a communal churching idea that everybody can come together and it doesn't matter what you are, you can all coexist and just, it's a community of people. Um, but everybody shares in that. I think the group of friends I had growing up also helped that quite a lot. It taught me a lot. I had friends from different countries. I had friends from different backgrounds and different religions, and they maybe were born here but went to live in another country and came back, and they shared what they learned, they shared what they knew, and I learned from them what they had. And that maybe sparked a lot of my interest in knowing about these other religions and knowing about other places. I wish I had been able to travel more when I was younger, but I just didn't have the ability to do so. It just wasn't in my abilities to do so. But I learned everything I could about everywhere because I wanted to know. And a lot of times I've just gone on YouTube and learned about some places that I've never been to either. There's quite a lot you can learn. Um, it's a huge thing to learn about everything. And it's amazing today. And that is another thing because YouTube is such a broad spectrum that you can learn about all the things. I don't really want to deep dive any areas about, or I don't want to use any of the areas about doing cults and things like that when I'm doing this today because I haven't really had other than a little bit of information about them, so I don't really know all that much about them. I'm only starting to learn a little bit, but YouTube is extremely helpful with explanations and talking about all of that. And so I'm kind of giving this talk just to say what I think, and I'd like to deep dive more into some of the areas I'm covering today in bigger ways. And like I said, I'd love to do a live at some point, and whoever would like to join in on it with me, and we can talk. And I feel very, a big part of me has always grown up with that. And that was the thing I grew up with. There was no sentiment in my family or in my household of my family that if you weren't Jewish, you weren't allowed to be in the house or be a part of things. And if you had somebody who didn't know about the religion, you got taught about the religion. And that was great. And I guess that actually helped me out because later on I got married to someone who I was living common law with someone. We were married for 17 years, which essentially, once you pass a certain amount of months in Canada, you are common law anyway, and you were considered married. He was Christian and I was Jewish, and we shared in everything of that. And I learned a lot that way too, that, you share in what you do with the family. So I brought being Jewish to the household. He brought being Christian to the household. And I actually do that today as well because my current husband is also not Jewish. But I guess I took that idea from that, and he's felt the same way, of course, because I don't think it would have worked if he hadn't. But in this case, Back then, he had 4 children prior to our relationship, and they are my stepchildren. And I also have a step granddaughter. And because of that, when I would introduce a Jewish holiday, I would explain the Jewish holiday, and I showed the food, and I showed all the things that we did. And they brought to me what they did for their holiday. And I found that not everybody does the same thing. I appreciated that not everybody does the same thing. Even 2 Christian people coming together, 2 Jewish people coming together, are never going to have the exact same household. One is going to come together with what they grew up with, another's going to come in with what they grew up with, and they're going to come together to formulate what that household is going to do. And they're going to teach other people that come into their household to do the same. And that's how it works. It's just, if it doesn't work that way, that's how you don't stay together for very long. We didn't split up because of the religion, I can assure you, but there was a lot of things that we shared in to do that. And again, I've had other people say to me, this has been a big thing to me. I've had a couple of different opportunities where somebody has said to me, I would love to be able to go to my church or my synagogue, but they don't accept me because maybe I looked a different way or I have a different social background. I don't want to get into specifics, but I mean, that's what they basically said. And this is, I guess, where the wheels started turning to start doing some research into all of this. Because they said, I can't go to the church I want to go to. I can't go to the synagogue I want to go to. And my view was that religion does not require a place. It just doesn't require a place. You can have your religion anywhere. And that's so important. Because I just feel, and this is my opinion, I'm going to PM this one, is my opinion and my opinion only. I have not heard it from somebody else. I have made this one purely on my own. Religion is an inventive love created by the heart. It's a part of you, and it's shared by a community of people with the same view. Okay? That is what I've always centered around, and I came to that conclusion that that is the view. And it's so, and it just sums it all up. Because, yeah, okay. And as I said, religion does not require a place. You can have your religion anywhere. You can go to a special room in your house. You can go out in the middle of a field. You can gather all the people around you that are interested in doing the same religion that day, that time, that would like to do a prayer and do it. But you don't have to have that community either. You can just do it by yourself. You can be out vacationing somewhere and want to do your prayer in very strange times, as I'm going to mention in a few moments here. You may have had to do it alone because of the circumstances, but also it may be self-dictated, it might be social dictated. That is how you adapt to what you need to do for you. And like I said, just want to go into my point on that. Religion is an inventive love created by the heart because it is in you first. It's brought on by your family. It's created. You learn from your family, but the actual sense of religion is in you and how you're going to actually participate in that religion. Because there are several people that have their religion, and they say, okay, so I can, my family does whatever they do for the religion. There are lots of people that I've seen that say, okay, my family gets together for the Passover Seder in April or March, whichever month it actually occurs on, and they don't really feel that it's really part of them, but they get together with people and you just participate in it. Or at Hanukkah time. I'm using these as examples because they're the most closest to my heart. But yeah, so all the candles are being lit, and whether they say the prayer or not, they're in the room and they are part of it, and that's what they do. And maybe they do it by themselves when nobody else is there, or they come away from the religion for a period of time and don't do anything, and sometimes, and that may go on for years and may never come back to it, and others have the moment that it changes for them. Especially, I find a lot of young adults, when they're single, they don't really have very much closeness to it. They don't get the connection, and then they veer back into the connection later on. So maybe in their late 20s, or when they start having families of their own, that's when they want to present to their family, their new children or their new spouse, about what it is all about. That's important too. Okay. But I'm going to come back to the issue of the religion does not require a place, because it doesn't require a place. And any rabbi, minister, priest, social leader of any kind should also tell you the same. And yes, of course, they want their church, they want their synagogue, they want their temple, they want their mosque, or whatever else that they use to have a social gathering space. And that's obviously, it's a very community place. That's their place of community to worship. But at any given time, you should also be able to call up your rabbi and say, hey, I'm in the hospital, I need guidance, and I need somebody to sit with me and have a prayer. And it is just that. And they will do that. They will sit with you. They will come to wherever you are. It doesn't have to be in a hospital. They can come to your home and sit and pray with you. And certain times when, let's say for Jewish funerals, a rabbi will come in and he will sit with the family and do a prayer service right then and there together. But also, you don't have to have that rabbi. You can also just do that service by yourself too. So, like I said, any rabbi, minister, or social leader worth their salt will tell you, call me up. I will be there. I'll be there for you. Let's have a conversation over the phone. It doesn't require that place. You can find anywhere. And I bet if just because one place does not accept you, find another one that does. You can find that very easily. Especially, well, not easily, I mean, you can find it where you are. You can probably find many places that will be a part of the same thing, and you'll find one that will accept who you are for you. There's no need for to say, okay, well, I can't go to any uh, religious ceremony. And that was another thing that I did as well when I was in my early years of being married as well, that we shared in going to those places. And I always recommend that to a family too. Why not? Okay, so you're one religion. You're either, maybe you're Jewish or Christian or whatever it is, that you're Hindu or something else. I don't know. I'm not going to specific on that part of it. But whether you have two spouses that are of two different religions or two different creeds or ideas, visit each other's area. So I went to visit a church, and I went to church services, and my husband went to visit synagogue and went to a synagogue service, and a Saturday morning service. But one thing I would recommend, especially if you have children, share all of those things. Share the religion. Share what other religions do. I've seen other YouTubers that actually do that. And they actually just bring on things about different cultures. But why not also visit those places as well? One thing I do recommend, though, if you're going to have, let's say you're going to go to a synagogue on a Saturday morning service, or you're going to go to a church service on a Sunday morning, contact the social director of where you're going to go and bring your family to. If you're not part of that religion, let them know that you are going to be visiting ahead of time, so you don't look like you're an out-of-place person. You're visiting. Maybe you'll sit in the back. If you're going to a synagogue, make sure you wear the cap, and maybe some might require that that a man wear the talit as well, the shawl. But you know, if that's obviously you're going to dress in proper attire for the occasion you're going to, but also contacting the social director is a good idea too, because you never know if where you're going to go to, they may have a special ceremony going on that may or may not be allowed for you to participate in. So just make sure that's the proper time that you can actually go to the service that you want to go and just see about. Also, I'd let you know as well that if you're going to go visit a synagogue, be prepared that you probably are not going to hear English on a regular basis. You're probably going to hear a lot of Hebrew. And if you're going to some other religion as well, it might be in their religion, in their language as well. Do a little bit of research about it, I guess. And your best research is probably YouTube for that as well, because there's so much that can be learned on that basis. I have to tell you, I mean, this is something that I feel very passionate about. I'm hoping that that is coming through on this video. Something that, you know, it comes to mind that years ago, everything was very close knit. I don't think you could actually see, I mean, I know that you could see a lot of church services on the internet, on YouTube and that, but seeing a synagogue on YouTube until the pandemic probably never happened. Years ago, well, I can tell you for sure that even being a conservative Jew in the community we lived in, you definitely could not, you know, if you wanted to have somebody take a camera in to your service with your bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah of your own child, you were not allowed to take a camera. You were not allowed to take a video of that service at any length. You couldn't do that. If you were going for the services for the Jewish New Year, the high holidays, which is the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that was an absolute no-no. You would absolutely never see that on TV. You would never see it. You know, if they were going to record something, and I know that I did see a YouTube service, but it was recorded in off hours of the actual event, and that was so they could show what they were. But if they were actually in service, you could never have gone into a video to watch them. Pandemic happened. Well, okay, so let's open the doors, let's open the camera, and 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 show everything that we're doing, because we can't gather together. We can now show so the rules change. What I'm trying to get here is the rules change for all of these things. And now, you know, I was watching years ago. I was watching from one of the the Park Avenue Synagogue in New York, and of course you saw Avi Schwartz, and you had all of his music, and he had some of the prayers that he would do as part of his channel. And then Park Avenue Synagogue opened its own channel, and for Rosh Hashanah, or well, Rosh Hashanah, the first part of it would have been, we got the Avi Schwartz concert that we all thought we didn't need, but you know, that was amazing. And now you can show a full service, and it's archived in YouTube. So so if you really wanted to do that, you could actually just show that to your family as well. But I actually recommend going live into one of these things to see what it's all about, because it's just so, you get the actual atmosphere of it. You get to actually see what's going on. I don't know how many questions you could probably ask really at the time of doing that, but at least you get the experience, and your family gets the experience. That is really something else to see. So anyway, I'm probably going way too long on this video, probably more than I intended, but I wanted to at least get that part of this explained and give a little bit. Like I said, I would love to deep dive into a little bit more of all of this, and I hope that I haven't offended any area. If I have, you know, please discuss it with me. I would love to have that discussion. And inform me of some more things that I'm unaware of, because that's my journey. I'm looking to learn, and that's an alternative. Didn't think I'd get away with that, did you? Of saying it, but that is an alternative. Learning about different religions, different backgrounds, different beliefs, and how they function, and how a little community can function in their way, as opposed to a big community doing it somewhere else, or you doing it individually. So, um, like I said, let's deep dive a little bit more. Hopefully you can give me a like and a subscribe on this one, and comment. I look forward to it all. Have a good day.